Greetings, family. Greetings, peace, and power. Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler back at you again for a special Community University Today, family. I am so excited about our guest today. We have a legend in the building. I'm so excited to able to have and present this guest before the public today. If you can see my shirt here, I'm representing I'm going to say the revolutionary Sojourner Douglas College. And I have the founder, the president of Sojourner Douglas College, and so many more great things that we'll talk about later here today. I was a student of Sojourner Douglas College. I graduated from Sojourner Douglas College, and I'm going to say that Sojourner Douglas College changed my life. And I'm going to say, give a shout out to Dr. Charles Simmons before we even get started today. I'm going to go through his bio, but I want to say that Sojourner Douglas College, under the leadership of Dr. Charles Simmons, was in revolutionary, and I mean revolutionary, institution in transforming the lives of people in Baltimore and beyond. I'm saying that lots of us talk about things, we talk about building things for our community, and we speak about it in just theory. I am saying we have a person with us today who understands theory really well, but also understands the application of theory. Being a student of Sojourner Douglas College, it often bothered me many times, because people would say things like, we don't have institutions. We don't have anything. We don't have our own. But at the same time, not highlighting that we have and had so many people's lives change from our institution. And if you ask me, why did I go? People say, why do you go to Sojourner Douglas College? Because it's ours. You understand? Built in the civil rights and the black power, during the civil rights and the black power movement, and all these type of things are very powerful institutions where we use textbooks like, let's say, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, where we use Souls of Black Folks, where we use Miseducation of the Negro, where we use the ISIS papers, where we had classes on the psychology of racism, where we had classes on psychology of the black family. I am saying that, honestly, I went to higher education, even I'm saying matriculated to get my master's degree and PhD due to my experience at Sojourner Douglas College. And I'm telling you, I was a force to deal with the level of education that we received at Sojourner Douglas College. I am telling you that Sojourner Douglas College is one of the best kept secrets in the world. And I'm saying, when it comes to for the liberation of our people, I'm saying all the things that we talk about was actually done. And I'm saying I'm talking about when we talk about education and educating our own. Sojourner Douglas College was so revolutionary in so many different ways. I'm just going to say a little bit, like offering a platform where our people who were oppressed could move beyond the barriers. I'm talking about all barriers to help educate us. I'm saying everything from child care being provided, everything from, if you struggling with math, we're gonna help catch you up. We're gonna catch you up because we understand how important math is, but we're gonna catch you up and teach you with an andragogical approach. Right? We understand pedagogy, but we're gonna teach you with an andragogical approach so that we can help aid you in being an asset to your community. But without any further ado, what I'll do is I'm going to read on Dr. Charles Simmons. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to read his bio. Here it says, Dr. Charles Simmons is founder and president of Global Education Services Incorporated, co-founder and president of Sojourner Douglas College, Baltimore, Maryland. A native Baltimorean, he is a graduate of Union Graduate School, where he earned his PhD in Administration of Higher Education in 1978. Postdoctoral studies include Educational Management at Harvard University Graduate School of Education, Institute for Educational Management. He also attended Morgan State College and Antioch College, where he majored in history and political science and urban development and sociology, respectively. His professional studies include legal, ethical, procedural aspects of collective bargaining, covering disciplines of legal complexities of labor management relations, labor history, economic research for contract negotiations and interpretation, and grievance procedures and arbitration. Dr. Simmons' international experience includes team leader of historical black college presidents under the auspices of the United States Agency for International Development, travel abroad, with support from the USAID's linkages program and the Fulbright Hayes program. In conjunction with the National Association of Equal Opportunity in Higher Education, several activities have been undertaken to strengthen the international dimensions of Sojourner Douglas College's curriculum and develop cooperative agreements with Africa, Caribbean, and South American nations and universities. Activities carried out under the NAFEO and USAID cooperative agreements, including negotiating contracts and linkage agreements with universities in Kenya, Senegal, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Barbados, Gabon, South Africa, Egypt. It says twice. As chairman of the NAFEO, USAID, Egypt Committee, and liaison for NAFEO institutions and Egyptian government and universities. Additionally, President Simmons has discussed university linkages with the South African ambassador to the United States, as well as the Botswana ambassador to the United States. Dr. Simmons has explored collaborations with institutions of higher education in Asia, South America, the Caribbean, and Africa. Dr. Simmons established a Sojourner Douglas College branch campus in the Bahamas and has collaborated with people of the Bahamas since 1977. In 2010, Dr. Simmons entered into a collaborative agreement to help found the Suriname Institute of Technology in Suriname, South America. Dr. Charles W. Simmons visited Singapore, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Vietnam, and China and negotiated with 12 colleges and universities to develop strategic alliances and partnerships by articulating bachelor's and master's degree programs and train Asian faculty and exchange international students. In 2014, Dr. Simmons visited Sao Paulo, Brazil, to negotiate linkages with Brazilian universities. Sojourner Douglas College has long been interested in developing relationships and collaborations in the Caribbean. President Simmons visited Jamaica on 3 occasions, exploring collaborations and possibilities of establishing a campus in Jamaica. The college also had a 2-year training 6 in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, with a view towards establishing a campus there. Before assuming his position as president of Sojourner Douglas College, he was co-founder and co-director of the Homestead Montebello Center of Antioch University from 1972 and 1980, director of health education and community organization at the Baltimore City Health Department from 1967 to 1974, and field representative for the International Brotherhood of Teamsters from 1964 to 1967. And he is the former secretary of the board of directors of National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Education and consortium of historically and predominantly black colleges and universities. His cultural and community involvement includes co-founder, director of grants, aid, and development, and member of boards of directors of the Left Bank Jazz Society from 1964 to 1987. He has held membership in the Congressional Black Caucus, Educational Business Brain Trust, the Council for the Advancement for Experiential Learning, and let me say that again, y'all. The Advancement for Experimental Learning, the Association for Community-Based Education, and he is a member of the Greater Baltimore Committee Leadership Class of 2000 and the Maryland Leadership Class of 2001. During his 4-year tenure with the United States Marine Corps from 1955 until 1959, he received a preparatory and advanced training at the Naval Aeronautical School and served with the Atomic Energy Commission during Operation Desert Storm Rock, atomic bomb testing conducted in Nevada desert, and Operation Hardtack. a variety of land, water, surface, underwater, atomic, and hydrogen bomb detonations in I don't know how to say in Watak and
Anahuac.
oh okay like that and Bikini you might have to help me with this one too. Bikini Atolls and Marshall Islands between 1956 and 1958. Dr. Simmons also played football in high school in the United States Marine Corps, including with Marine Corps All-Star team. So what I hear, family, is that Dr. Simmons is a well-rounded, and I'm certain that it's so much not even on here, but I am certain by listening and hearing this bio reading, this brief bio for Dr. Simmons, right, that you can conclude that he's a well-rounded brother, a well-rounded elder, that he wasn't really looking at the paint dry. So with no further ado, I present to you Dr. Charles W. Simmons.
Thank you, Dr. Winkler. And thank you for those kind and generous words. It is my pleasure to be able to participate with you and alumni of Sojourner Douglas College. It's been a while. It's been, some good times and some tumultuous times. But we're still here, and there's still a possibility for, transitional education, which is certainly needed in our community, still needed in our community. I think we have to remember that the United States was built on inequality. And I can tell you that today, especially, this effort is trying to rise again. So we're in the need of Black scholars interested in making a difference and changing the world. So thank you for the introduction, and thank you for what you do.
And thanks for accepting the invite.
My pleasure. I want to talk, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'd like to present. I just finished writing my biography. It's at the printer. And I got so excited with that and talking to people at Sojourner Douglas. So now I'm in the process of writing a history of Sojourner Douglas College. And I'm doing that because there's a need for Black scholars with a different orientation who would become catalysts for Black liberation, Black self-development, and resolution of the many ills affecting the Black community, America, and the world. I believe that we must set and meet our own goals and for self-reliance, self-development, and social justice. And so the reality is that we're engaged in a crusade of our children's future. Poverty, the cradle to prison pipeline, the absence of early education and enrichment are shaping our future. A movement of well-educated, culturally and socially prepared youth and adults, which is what inspired the founding of Sojourner Douglas College, was then and still now is needed to confront this crisis. So I'd like to just briefly go through this PowerPoint presentation, talk about Sojourner Douglas College, the significance of the college, community struggle for self-determination. I just want to reflect on that for a minute. Dr. Masak, if we can, I don't know what to do, okay, to um, to signal when to change the slide. But there's still, when Sojourner Douglas College was founded, a need was identified. Local leaders identified educational gaps during the civil rights era. We in Baltimore, resident activists formed what was called the Freedom School, which located down on Fremont Avenue. In 1972, Coretta Scott King, who was a graduate of Antioch, and Congresswoman or Senator Eleanor Holmes Norton, who was a graduate and member of the board of Antioch, contacted Walter P. Carter. Walter P. Carter was considered the Martin Luther King of Maryland. He and Sampson Green were two of the local civil rights activists. In 1972, Coretta Scott King contacted Walter P. Carter and said that they had convinced the president of Antioch to allow local activists in minority communities around the country to establish branch campuses of Antioch. Walter P. Carter contacted me. I was formerly a Teamsters Union representative, and when Walter Carter and Sampson Green was setting up picket lines to express civil rights issues, I would help organize members of the community to join the picket lines. And when I was needed a picket around a company that I was trying to organize, and I would articulate the matter about African Americans working there being exploited, Walter P. Carter and Sampson Green would again bring civil rights activists to put pickets around the company that I was trying to organize. So Walter Carter and I were very close. When Coretta Scott King contacted Walter Carter about the possibility of establishing an Antioch branch, there were two opportunities. One was a wholly owned branch by Antioch, and one was what was called an affiliate branch, owned and operated by the community, with an agreement that it would eventually spin off and become independent. So we started in 1972 as a branch of Antioch College, and in 1980 we spun off and became Sojourner Douglas College, an independent community-controlled branch of Antioch College. During that time, and the reason that we needed to do that, during the 1970s, Maryland ranked near the bottom in the percentage of population completing high school, the percentage of completing 4 years of college, the percentage of Black populations attending college, the percent of Baltimore's Black population attending college for 1 or more years. And even though it was lowest in those numbers, it was highest in the cradle, what was called the cradle to prison pipeline. Black young people going to prison in such high numbers. Dr. Masai. So the vision was carved out by the community. Sojourner was a result of the vision shared by the leaders of the greater Baltimore community, including, you can see there, Congressman Perrin Mitchell and several other Black leaders in the Baltimore community. Dr. Masai. The vision then was community empowerment, to establish an institution of higher education staffed by local residents, many of whom the college would educate. And you can see that picture. That's one of our first classes. We started in a parish house in the Homestead Montebello community, where the whites had moved out of the community and turned the church over to the community. The church turned the parish house over to us. That's me sitting in the window and teaching a class in the parish house. At the bottom is Robin Patterson Quarles. She was our first director of admissions in recruitment activities.
So Doc,
Yes.
are you saying, help me with this? So you're saying that it was staffed by future students that
Yes.
who would matriculate through the actual institution?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I think that's, again, like, how was that even conceived? Like we're going to the people on the staff are actually going to go through the program. I'm just saying, in my mind, I'm like, how revolutionary is that? How, when I say revolutionary, how forward thinking and out of the box thinking is that? Like, what was that like? What was some of the struggles? What some of the joys? What was that like?
It was very interesting, and I'm glad you asked. Because we came together. You remember now, many of the students were formerly or still involved in the civil rights movement. So it was a mixture of education, of civil rights, and interestingly, that's why we instituted the linkage between learning and action, the experiential learning, project demonstrating competency, because we wanted to keep the link between education and social change. Our vision was social change, and so every student, and we're going to talk about that. That's in the PowerPoint presentation. But every student engaged in a project demonstrating competency, which was an experiential learning, linking theory to practice.
Oh, awesome.
And so our students, I'm so proud of our students, and this, look at you. Our students have done some wonderful things. And I think, many of them were already active and activists in the community. But the concept of linking theory to practice, experiential learning, is the highest form of education. And it was something that was just colleges and universities were just beginning to embrace.
Yeah, thinking about that, I remember when I took a lot of classes at Sojourner, and I took those classes if you had real world experience. I forgot what it was called. Like, I had experience already in the world, and I got the chance to really work with Dr. Marion Stanton, and she would often say that you bring so much already. You all bring so much already, and how it's just like, no, let's refine that. Let's really improve that. Let's expound upon that. And so I listened to you saying, take that. They brought something, but also there was a process, going through a process to further build on top of that. Well, yeah, I appreciate that.
Right. So we wanted to empower the community, and it's not just a concept. Empowerment for us was real. Local educators took the initiative to, as I said, along with students, to set up this college, to help residents who we had young students, but many of our students were older students. And so we wanted to help them fulfill their educational aspirations. So what we did was we wanted to link self-determination and the civil rights movement to education, to not only help the students, but also improve factors in the community. So we were an independent education institution that reflect the community's desire for self-determination. This was a shared vision between us and the community. We wanted to provide higher education for mature students as well as the traditional age students. to help them both advance in their jobs, but also to improve aspects of the community. We did a number of things. What you see there was a transportation program that students started that would link with to help people who didn't have access to transportation get back and forth to work, back and forth to medical appointments. We called it at the Sojourner Douglas College Advantage 2. We had community residents doing a number of things. This at the top right here is Dr. Marion Stanton. She was one of the co-founders. So we wanted to provide a degree with a purpose, not just to educate people, but a learning model for self-development, engagement, and effective social action in the community. We believe that there were no sharp distinctions between living, learning, working, and learning could be reconciled with both study and action in a way that offered both student growth through social and academic utilities, improving aspects in the community. Again, we have to remember that we're engaged in a crusade for our children's future. We still are our children's future. Poverty, the cradle to prison pipeline, the absence of early education and enrichment are shaping our future even today. So we understand and understood that a movement of well-educated, culturally and socially prepared youth and adults, which is what inspired the founding of Sojourner Douglas College, was then and still needed to confront this crisis. So we offered a degree with a purpose. Our mission was to assist the community to develop skills to gain control over those forces which shape their lives, to provide a climate necessary for leadership and community development, to foster greater emphasis on self-awareness, social justice, and self-determination, and provide the student with the opportunity to improve the quality of life for themselves, for their family, and for other members of the community. We served over 8,000 students. We operated as Sojourner Douglas from 1980 until 2015. We can talk about what happened there, but we served over 8,000 students. We graduated over 6,000, with over 70% going on to graduate schools. And we had both an economic and social impact on the students, and the community.
Wow, 70%.
70% of our students went on to graduate school.
Wow, that is major. I never saw that stat before. Wow, 70%. Whoa, that's major. And I think one of the things that there's some debate in the community, and I think one of the things that Sojourner did great now, even speaking to the stats you just shared, is that you said it already. It was more than theory. It was also about applying that theory, right? So the
theory.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
See, so we offered undergraduate, graduate programs. They were designed to meet the critical needs of the community to improve the quality of life of the students and the community. And it was applied program, as we talked about, providing students the opportunity to apply the theory in real life situations. And they were called PDCs, project demonstrating competency, and on the master's level, projects demonstrating mastery, and served as a these were social change projects that designed to improve the quality of life for the students, for the family, and for the community. We also had an office, community outreach office, which served the community. Here in the center is Jamal Mukdebe. He was director of our community outreach. That's a politician. I'm trying to think of her name. Oh God, my memory is not what it used to be. And here at the bottom left is Kareem Aziz with community leaders. Bottom right is a community meeting at, I think that church was in Annapolis, but we had campuses in Annapolis, and we would meet with communities and churches both in Baltimore and Annapolis. So our focus was community.
Yeah, I definitely formed a real good relationship with Baba Aziz, and that still lasts to this day as a result of Sojourner Douglas College. He and Sojourner Douglas College got us involved in a lot of the what's the thing, the brother from New York, I can't think of it, the State of the Black World, those conferences and things. Ron Daniels, Dr. Ron Daniels. Yeah. So that connection there is beautiful. And it's still, I just was meeting with Baba Aziz maybe about last year around this time. Yeah.
And that's what we try to do, connect with people around the country, leaders around the country who are trying to make a difference in our community, like Ron Daniels.
Yes, sir.
So we had a very rich history. We were recognized in the community. We got support from the community, but we succeeded because of our extraordinary faculty, board members, supporters, and alumni. I've seen some of the work that our alumni is doing, like you, Dr. Winkler. Communiversity, the concept of a communiversity is awesome, and that's one of the things that we wanted to do. The whole idea of communiversity is even though we weren't named a communiversity at the time, what we were doing, the relationship between Sojourner and the community was, what you're doing, with the communiversity. That's major.
Definitely a community at Sojourner. I know so many people. Brother Jabari used to have his events there from Survivors Nations. He was supposed to join us, but he used to have all the different lecturers come in, and if it wasn't for Sojourner Douglas College, he wouldn't. I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been able to pull it off, but he talks about how it aided him and supported him in that effort. I also know that my father, he taught Tai Chi there for many years. After the person who taught him Tai Chi passed on, he started teaching classes there, and so many other things that went on as a result of allowing the community come in as well. And and just the community atmosphere of the institution and the way that students work together to make sure that everyone succeeded. I mean, it was phenomenal. And I often say that I think that Sojourner, that statistic that you brought up was really interesting, because I often tell people that sometimes when we went through Sojourner as undergrads, we didn't realize that we were getting like master's level type of education. The level of, we had to write a lot, we had to think a lot, we had to think our thoughts out. And even looking at your bio, I remember one of the game changing things in my life. It might be interesting, is that I had to write a biographical sketch of my own. And I had not realized how much I had accomplished until I had to write this biographical sketch as a result of one of my classes at Sojourner. I'm just saying it was phenomenal. So it definitely was a community university, to say the least.
So we, the slide, the photo on the top left was the parish house. That was the church. The gray building was the church, and the parish house is the one with the roof over it. That was a church where the white parishioners had moved out and turned it over to the community. It was in the Homestead Montebello community of Baltimore. That's where the name came from, the Homestead Montebello Center of Antioch College. So we were there from 1972 to 1973. And then we moved to the one in the center. That was a storefront. It was the former office of one of the Black politicians in that community, on Asquith Street, I think. And then we bought two houses a block away, which is on the right. So we're there from 1973 to 1975. And then in 1975, the photos on the bottom, we bought the one on the bottom left, was on the footprint of the Central Avenue building, which is the long building in the center. And then the one on the far right at the bottom was Caroline Street. That was on the Dunbar campus. So we bought those buildings in 1975 until 2015, when we were forced to close. But we wanted to be a pillar in the community. We wanted to make contributions in the community.
So I'll say we were and still are a pillar in the community.
Thank you. We also established campuses in Annapolis. This campus was built from the ground up for Sojourner Douglas College. And the lady who's being interviewed on the top left, Dr. Charlestine Fairley, she was the campus director there. In the center is Dr. Fairley with, oh God, oh Lord, a gentleman who gave us a 40-acre farm. What was, oh Lord, his name escapes me. But that was the Annapolis campus that was built for Sojourner Douglas College. And the right in the middle is Donald Hutchins. He was our vice president for fiscal affairs. Boy, but that was a wonderful campus. I'm blocking. His name will come to me.
It happens to me all the time. I'm honest. I'll be honest. It happens to me all the time, and you got some time with me, but it's been happening to me since I was a baby.
This is our Cambridge campus. In the center is a campus director there. That was an elementary school, a former elementary school that we acquired in Cambridge. This is our Salisbury campus. This is the top director, and that's her in the center as well, in Salisbury, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore. Prince George's County. This was Prince George's County campus.
Yeah. They had a lot of energy.
Yes, yes, yes.
They try to come up to Baltimore representing on this, Doc. They used to try.
Right.
They're like, we from PG. Like,
This is our Owens Mills campus. And that's, let's see the director there, Darce Carroll was the director of our Owens Mills campus. This was our Bahamas campus. This was on the top left was a graduating class in 2002. The lady in the front on the far left is Darce Carroll. She went to the Bahamas to help establish that campus. She was the first director of the campus. The person next to me is he was a former governor general of the campus. He was on our board of directors there. This is on the top right is Mayor Kurt Schmoke. He went to visit the campus, and he's talking with our second director of the Bahamas campus. And then the bottom right is a photo of the building.
Yeah.
But we had good relationships with the mayor, with Mayor Schmoke at the time. He was very interested in what we were doing. He actually visited, went to, I was shocked, went to the Bahamas to spend some time there, visited the campus.
Yeah, Doc, when I'm hearing you say this, right, and for me, being a student at Sojourner, lots of this we've known, but just to know that many people don't know this in the world, don't know this. I'm looking at Brother John Logic in the comments. He says, "Wow, this is inspiring." He says this is inspiring, and I actually started a radio platform back in around 2013, 14, something like that. And I used to speak about, Sojourner Douglas College and so many other things that don't get that media attention often, more than saying what we don't have, right? So right. Many people don't even realize that there has been a black, and there's others too, but that's specifically like a Sojourner Douglas College, a black, independent, for the community type of school. They really think that it never, ever existed. Any thoughts about that? Not Sojourner Douglas College, but I'm saying that nothing like this ever took place.
I agree, and it was a result of a lot of people, civil rights activists, community, community leaders. I mean, our students were exceptional. I mean, I'm just amazed. I'm still amazed at our students. And I have in part of one of the sections in the document that I'm writing, students who overcame challenges to go to school and graduate. And I'm also have a section, and I encourage students, alumni. I have another section of some of the things that our alumni are doing now. And so I encourage alumni, Dr. Winkler and others, who send me biographies, send me things that you're doing, things that you've done in the community, so that I can incorporate it in the history of Sojourner Douglas College that I'm writing. Because I can tell you that our students and our alumni are doing some spectacular things. And I don't want to take credit for that, but I believe, and that's why I think the education the kind of education we provided, connecting theory with practice, the experiential learning component um, um, uh, was a was at least one of the catalysts
Mm-hmm.
that uh, that caused students then and continue to make progress and change in the community.
Yeah, and another thing, I just got to put it in here, is this. I was in the classes where, when we look at racial identity development, when we look at Cross's theory and other theories of racial identity development, it talks about where we are and how we identify in our blackness, right? And and a lot of times people came to Sojourner and they didn't necessarily, I would say they were like more, I forgot I can't even think about it right now. They're more, let's say, in the assimilationist type of ideology, but not about politics and everything, but just like, why do we gotta learn about all this black stuff many times over here, students? They were like, why? So I went there, I was blacker than black. I'm not gonna lie, I was already black. But but I've heard so many that went through the process of becoming black and accepting being black or African people, who, when they first came in the door, what's all this black stuff? So it wasn't like it was a process that you had to go through, even as being a result at Sojourner Douglas College. If you were your blackness was enhanced if you went to this school, or it was going to be a challenge for you.
I agree, and I hear more and more alumni make that kind of comment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear them today even as well, saying they didn't know about themselves, their history, their culture, and until they went there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, major.
So some of our assets, we provided child care because we were serving adults, and we knew that many adults needed support for their children while they were in class. So we created a charter school, and so our students could, during the day, it was a regular early childhood education program. In the evening, or during the day and the evening, if students had class, they could bring their children with them, and we would educate the children while the parents were in class. The top right photo there is one of our workforce development programs. We had not only the bachelor's and master's degree programs, but we had workforce training programs as well. So that's one of our graduating classes at the top, and this is at the bottom is our workforce staff. They received an accommodation that's holding the award, for a community award for our workforce training program. We had an Office of Community Outreach. The top left was our transportation program. Again, we trained people in the community. We provided the vehicles for them to provide transportation for people. We helped put them in business. Our students conducted volunteer work in the community. The bottom left is Jamal Muktube conducting a community meeting, and we partnered with the city to train city employees in a weatherization program. That's the bottom right photo. So our students, our students and the college were very active in the community. Was part of the education program. Is our School of Nursing. Our students conducted samples and training programs in the community. That's a student in one of our phlebotomy classes drawing blood for community residents. The bottom photo is our health fair at Polytechnic High School with Sojourner nursing students participating in that. So we wanted to link not just theory with practice, but our students with operations in the community and other institutions in the community and students in high school, because we wanted to help students understand the transition from high school to college. This was the Inner Harbor East Academy for Young Scholars, the charter school that we started. Elementary school, we added a grade each year. We got up, I think, to the 8th or the 9th grade, starting from pre-kindergarten. And so we call that the Inner Harbor East Academy for Young Scholars. And again, we wanted to help people understand that they were scholars. You start thinking like a scholar, you act like a scholar, you become a scholar. It's a transition. Our workforce center, we had also professional and continuing studies. These are students who are graduating. This one in pharmacy technology. This is a pharmacy technician certificates that they had earned, and nursing, assistant nursing. We had a wellness center which supported the students with study skills, and if they had issues that we could help them with, we referred them to external social service resources. This is the director. Oh God,
Barbara Richard Rowe.
Richard Rowe, Dr. Richard Rowe.
Yeah, I just to let you know, Doc. I don't know what Barbara Richard had to do with it, right? But I want to show you something. But I received an award recently, as a proud Sojourner Douglas alumnus from the Dr. Maxie T. Collier Phoenix Horizon Award presented to me for People's Choice for impact on mental health and substance use in the community. And, Dr. Barbara Rowe is very connected with this particular institution.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm still connecting with him as well. So it ain't stopped.
Fantastic. We had an Office of the First Year Experience for students who help develop effective study skills. On the left is a student, and on the right, in the center, lady with the glasses on is director of the Office of First Year Experience. God, I'm trying to think of the names. Forgive me. This is with our assets, our different programs, but our students were our assets. These are students graduated. We were the first college in the United States. Now, I'm glad, that adopted the kente cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think just about at least every Black college in the United States, has adopted the kente cloth. But we were the first college in the United States to adopt the kente cloth.
Okay, historical fact. I'm going to use it.
Mm-hmm. This was we received an award, our political campaign management program. Oh God, I'm trying to think of her name. God, you have to forgive me. My memory is not what it used to be.
Yeah, we definitely more than forgive you. But we also understand that this sister, yeah, we understand. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. But we were. I think we were well respected in the community, um, both by community leaders and politicians, other college presidents, um, um, who saw what we were doing and recognized and respected what we were doing.
Queen of B says Donna Brazil is her name, Doc.
Donna Brazil, that's right, that's right.
All
Thank
right,
you,
Queena,
thank,
you coming through? You coming through, Queena?
thank you. And the brother here, he was a leader. He was one of the leaders of one of the uh, black political parties or something like that. I can't think of his name again, but thank you. Next slide. This was our one of our buildings. This on the footprint of our main building. We were going to renovate this and create a clinic, a health program. We had a major and in several majors in the areas of health, and we wanted to renovate that building. It's an old historic building. I love the building, and we were going to create a community health clinic in that building. Allied Health. It's been our school of Allied Health. Yes.
Yeah,
This is the building we had on Park Avenue, 810 Park Avenue, that we developed a think tank in the building that was formerly was turned over to us by the I forget the organization that gave us the building. 810 Park Avenue. And we were going to take space in the Old Town Mall and renovate to create opportunities for students, educational, economic opportunities for residents of Old Town in the Old Town area, where we were located close to the Old Town Mall.
Now to talk about that, I actually was a part of those talks. That building, Park Avenue was beautiful, by the way, and I've been there quite often. Meeting with, now I'm forgetting the brother's name. He was an attorney and he was also a professor at Sojourner.
John Morris.
Yes.
Morris, yes.
See, I forgot his, and you got it. See? we're working on it together. So,
Right.
yes, Dr. Morris was. I mean, he was sharp, right? And we will be talking about developing in community and how the community itself could help develop Old Town Mall versus Hopkins getting it and doing all those type of things. And it was very beautiful. So I was firsthand, I mean, in community leaders around and me being a student and so many other people at the table talking and struggling together to, develop and expand the footprint and also to help the community and all those great things, So, yeah.
It was called the Promisorium that John Morris helped develop with people in the community.
Yes. And the community people came in and church and all. Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. Next slide. So, right, our plan was, our strategic master plan was to link all of the buildings and campuses for video conferencing and other high technology applications. That now that's this whole education, this video has become the thing. We were in the early stages of this whole concept of video conferences and education, online degree programs, we started initiating these online degree programs, and we were exploring the process of moving. We offered both bachelor's and master's. We were in the process of including PhD programs and exploring the concept of moving towards university status. It's our strategic plan. This is we wanted to create a school of hotel and hospitality management in the harbor area. So we had dreams. We were also interested, as you pointed out earlier, Dr. Winkler, in international education. We believe that sojourner travel well, and we wanted to create an opportunity for student exchange, for our students to go abroad and at an educational institution in another country, and also to bring foreign students to Baltimore or to Maryland. And so we negotiated linkages in several countries abroad. This is right here. This is Mekong University. You see the sign says, "Welcome Sojourner Douglas College delegations." This was in December of 2012, and that's me there and Richard Freeman, who was interested in helping to organize and lead person and set up some of these meetings and some of these linkages. This was Mekong University. You'll see this was Business Institute in Indonesia, Thames Business School. This is me and Richard Freeman there with the president of Thames Business School in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is the University El Unsel in Indonesia. We signed agreements and linkages with them. This is the American Center for Education, ACE, in Singapore. We signed an agreement there. This is Dr. Johnson. He's the director of education there, international education there. This is Ho Chi Minh University in Vietnam. This is a signing agreement. That's on the left is a picture of the building. On the right, at the top is signing ceremony and gift exchange at the bottom. This is Dang Nai University in Vietnam. Again, signing agreements and gift exchange. The institution is on the left, and on the right, again, that's Richard Freeman with me. We're signing and exchanging gifts. Mekong University in Vietnam. Again, there's a signing agreements and gift exchange. These are some of the students. This is Sino College in Hong Kong. The same thing, we signed agreements there. This is Yangtai University in China, and the sign Chinese there says, "Welcome Sojourner Douglas College delegation." And these are signing agreements at the top. At the bottom right is a architectural rendering of the Yangtai campus. This is a delegation. This is us, the delegation there, with the president of the college standing outside of the administration building. This is Shandong Institute of Technology in China. Again, these are signing agreements and gift exchange. Pictures of the university itself on the left, and gift exchange and with the president on the right. This is Ludong University, again in Yantai, China. And again, the banner at the top. At the top is the picture of the campus. On the right-hand side is an architectural rendering of the campus. On the left is a gift exchange there. That sign again says, "Welcome, Sojourner Douglas College delegation." That's with me and the president of Ludong University. This is again Ludong University, and the closing dinner. This is a gift exchange. On the bottom, on the top left, is with our delegation as well as the delegation from Ludong University. At the bottom is the mayor of Ludong University, in which is giving gifts. That's me and the mayor exchanging gifts. And at the bottom right is a closing dinner. The top right is the lady from, she's head, I can't read that, head of a committee that sponsored the dinner. And so the bottom right is the delegation from Sojourner Douglas, as well as the delegation from Ludong University. That's a closing dinner. This is in Suriname, South America. We helped stand up a university in Suriname Institute of Technology in Suriname, South America. This is a televised signing agreement on the left and on the right, both the left and the right at top, with me and the president of Suriname, South America. This is in Kenya. This is Daniel Arap Moi. He was the vice president of Kenya at the time. Jomo Kenyatta was the president. When Jomo Kenyatta died, Daniel Arap Moi became the president. So this is negotiating agreements. And the right is the Kenyatta Conference Center. That's where we were negotiating linkages agreements with the vice president of Kenya.
Wow.
This is Cairo University in Egypt, and that's new. I led a delegation. That's me at the second from the left. This was what an organization called NAFIO. NAFIO was the National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Education. There was a consortium of the historically and predominantly Black colleges in the United States. We also were negotiating linkages. The one in the middle, that's Earl Richardson. He was president of Morgan. The second from the right, he was president of another Black college. The one next to me is Dr. Samuel Myers. He was president of NAFIO at the time, of the National Association of Equal Opportunity. The bottom is Uganda. We were negotiating with colleges. This is at the equator in Uganda. This is Henry Ponda on the left of side of on my next to me, and that's his wife. Henry Ponda was president of one of the historically Black colleges.
Doc, as you present this, I'm thinking about something that just came out recently from Dr. Malefakiti Asante at Temple University. He was speaking to some people in administration at that school, actually trying to destroy the Africana Studies program or the Africology program or program, or African American Studies program. They go by Africology, but also African American Studies program at Temple University. He said there's an attempt to destroy it. Also, he spoke to this thought where he said that one of the administrative higher ups told him that Africa has nothing to offer Temple. He said it was just that blatant.
Mm-hmm.
The racism, he called it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right. You'll see it. I mean, it's rising. I mean, it's rising its head again. This was in Cairo University in Egypt. This is sitting next to me is Boutros Ghali. He was a former Secretary General of the United Nations. So we were there at Cairo, the Suez Canal University, Cairo, Egypt. This is again Henry Ponder. This was a college president. Next to Henry Ponder, that's me, second from the right, and the one at the right and the one next to me are two presidents, Egyptian presidents, African presidents, and the brother here on the far left was with the National Association for Equal Opportunity in Higher Education. So we were negotiating linkages there in Egypt as well. And this was one of the big sessions where the Secretary of United Nations, Secretary General of the United Nations was there with us. Again, this was in Egypt. I'm on the took the opportunity to try to ride a camel.
Oh,
while we were in Egypt.
I don't think I was brave enough when I was there. Let me take a pause for a second, Doc, and say, family, those who are tuning in, I will say this, Mr. Pittman. I think Mr. Pittman and my father are good friends. I think Mr. Pittman said, Jerry Pittman says, "Hello, Dr. Simmons."
Hello, Mr. Pittman. How are you?
Yeah. Great. And I also want to. You had anything else?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
And anyone who wants to join in, and if you have questions after or even during, Doc said that he's open to questions as we flow. I have provided a link to StreamYard where you can join in, and you don't have to come on camera if you don't, but we can at least hear your voice.
I like that last one. It was said Dr. Simmons is looking well. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Maybe I should have said that one, right? You're looking good, Doc. Well, he did like that one. You can tell, right? Yes, sir.
The slide here was again, we had good relationships with African citizens and African institutions. This was when I was inducted into chieftaincy. I was made a chief. This is a ceremony at the college where I was entooled, they call it, as a chief of the Igbo nation.
So Chief Dr. Simmons. All right. Ashe.
Ashe, I loved it. This was, we gave an honorary degree to the president of Burundi. That's the president in the middle. That's me behind him. This is second from the left is Dr. Samuel Myers. Again, he was president of NAFIO at the time, National Association for Equal Opportunity. On the far left is Dr. Calvin Burnett. The far right is Dr. Calvin Burnett. He was president of COPPN at the time. That's his wife in front of him. In the middle is the Honorable, I can't see it, President of Burundi.
It's Cyprian, yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
It's covered up by the banner now. Yeah. Cyprian, I can't do the second name, but yeah. President, yeah.
The President of Burundi. Mm-hmm. So we try to create and maintain relationships with Africa, African citizens, um, African institutions, African leaders, politicians. Um, we thought it was essential because our ultimate goal was to create that linkage and
Hmm.
so that we could have exchange, student exchange, citizens exchange.
Yeah. So, what will be the importance of exchange if you could go a little deeper into that? Like, I heard, again, I was at a lecture last evening with Dr. Marimba Ani, and she spoke about the importance of connecting with the continent. Do you have any ideas why that would be important?
Well, I think we have to recall that that's where we came from. America was built on slavery, racism. They kidnapped us from the continent, enslaved us, um, tried to um, try to brainwash us into thinking that there was no connection between us and our people and our continent. And I think it's very important, not only then, but now and in the future, for us to find a way to continue that relationship, to maintain a relationship with our ancestors, with our people. They're still in our blood is still there, and just like it's important for us to maintain a relationship with our fathers and mothers and grandparents and great grandparents, I believe it's equally important for us to maintain relationships, both emotional and economic
Hmm.
relationships with the continent, with the people in the continent of Africa. Africa is one of the richest continents in the world, still is,
Hmm.
and it's being exploited.
Hmm.
And we can, I think we can help develop it. I mean, there's a lot of skillful, educated, skillful African American people who several are already going back to Africa and making a contribution. But there's a lot that can be done there, and I think it's important to maintain that relationship.
Yeah. So similarly, Dr. Marimba Ani said last evening that she feels that in order for us to really exact our power is we have to really have that connection, as you said, this to cooperate economically even. And she said without that connection, she almost really said it's really impossible for us to really rise as high as we can.
I agree, 100%, 100%.
Thank you for that.
So this is on the top left is me with President Bill Clinton. The top right is me with President Al Gore, and the bottom left is me with then Maryland Governor Harris Glendenning. So we had a shared vision. Um, we wanted to help anchor in the community to assist community residents become self-determined through education, jobs, applied research, training, community organization, and collaborations, both with our local community and again, as we just spoke of, with the African community. So we think that that's very important. We do that. We create these relationships so that as a people, as individuals and as a people, we can thrive and sustain ourselves, both economically, um, socially, psychologically, ethnically.
Mm.
Yeah, next slide. So we did again maintain um, relationships with the other black colleges. These are other black college presidents that was next to me. Sitting is Dr. Calvin Burnett. He was president of Coppin. Dr. Andrew Billingsley was president of Morgan. Dr. President of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Boy. And standing behind us, Heitch, Dr. William Heitch, President of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, standing behind us are the vice presidents of these institutions. The lady there is Dr. Burnett's wife and Dr. President Morgan's wife. And the other lady is Jean Heitch Williams. She was one of the administrators at Sojourner Douglas College. Between her and Dr. Calvin Burnett's wife is Dr. Andrew Jones. He was vice president of Sojourner Douglas College. And on the far left, young man he was the vice president of I think the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Name is escaping me. Who's become a national, international educator. I was awarded an honorary doctorate degree at Goucher College. That's Goucher College president in the blue, and standing next to him is in my slide presentation there was a bottom piece where I had notes. What's her name, Dr. Winkler? Congresswoman.
I'm struggling with her as well.
She received an honorary degree from Goucher at the same time as well, and the lady on the far left.
I don't know those people really that well, but it's not Nancy Pelosi or anything like that.
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Congresswoman or Senator Nancy Pelosi, and the lady on the far left, she was an alumnus of Goucher College. So the three of us received honorary doctoral degrees from Goucher College. This was a congressional record from Dr. Ben Cardin, a tribute to Charles Simmons, PhD, congressional record. It says, Mr. Cardin is rise to say, Mr. Speaker, I rise today to pay special tribute to Charles Simmons, PhD, founding president of Sojourner Douglas College, Maryland's only independent institution of higher education focused on educating African Americans. Said, like Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass. So this is they named the street after Charles Simmons Way. That was over on right over by the school, Caroline Street, the 500 and 600 block of Caroline Street.
So let me make that be clear. I can see you got a little humility in you. So they named the street after you.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Yes. This is a visit from Governor Glendening. This is Senator McFadden. Second one from the left is Senator McFadden. That's Governor Glendening. That's Ray Haysburg, the second from the right. Pat Scott was a member of our board. That's Ruby Glover sitting down. Dr. Marion Stanton sitting. Ken Banks is the far left. That's a student. The lady is a student at Sojourner Douglas College. So This is a visit from Ed Hitchcock is on the left, and Mayor Martin O'Malley is on the right.
Picture. That's a picture right there, though. Go back one more. Ja, what's up with that hand, Doc? What's happening? What were you saying?
I don't remember. I was pointing something out to them.
Yeah, that right there. That's the picture. Look, I need that one. That's that historical shot that's going to ring forever, right there. It looked like you like, yeah, it's serious. But I'm just thanks, John. Thank you, brother John.
And this is Lieutenant Governor Michael Steele at the college, holding up a Sojourner Douglas T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
This is a proclamation we received from Mayor Kurt Schmoke. This is a proclamation from Congressman Elijah Cummings. This is on the right is Mayor Clarence Dewburns. He was the first black mayor of Baltimore, along with in the center is Sampson Green. He was again, he was one of the local civil rights leaders with Walter P. Carter that helped get Sojourner up and started as Homestead Montebello, son of Antioch. And he became a lifelong member of the board. And when he passed, his wife joined the board. This is Senator Nathaniel McFadden. He was there. He was in East Baltimore with on the far right is Marie Washington. She was very prominent and active in the community, economic development opportunities in the community. This is some of our administrators at one of our commencements. In the center next to me is Mayor Sheila Dixon. She received an honorary degree, and she spoke. She was a speaker at one of our commencements. On the far right is Ruby Glover. She's history, Sojourner Douglas history. She was a singer, very active in the community. These are the campus directors. On the far left is Doris Carroll. She was center director of Owens Mills campus. This Dr. Vivian Fuller. She was Cambridge campus. Dr. Bernard Gross. He was director of the Prince George's campus. Dr. Connie Stewart. She was director of Salisbury campus. And on the far right is Dr. Charlestine Fairley, campus director of the Annapolis campus. This was, we received an award. That was Donna Brazil. She was chairman of the Democratic National Committee. And on the far left is Michael Cryer. He was the chair of the Maryland Democratic Party. And the lady in the middle was one of the local community leaders, sojourners receiving an award, a proclamation from the National Democratic Committee. So I again just want to, Dr. Winkler, thank you for this opportunity. And I want to thank all of the participants here. I want to thank Mr. Masak, the technician, for helping us with this. And again, I just want to thank everybody who is on, who participated in this opportunity. And I want to apologize for the memory slips, but I do want to say that this is an important opportunity. I'm in the process of writing both my biography and a history of Sojourner Douglas College. And I would love to hear from you some of the things you're doing. I want to include it. Dr. Winkler, I see some of the things you're doing but I wish you would, send me an overview because I've seen some of the things that our alumni are doing, and they're doing some magnificent things in the community, and it needs to be put out there. It needs to be communicated to the broader community, and this is one way of doing it. I mean, this
Absolutely.
is a wonderful opportunity right now, and to connect. But please, if there's a way that Dr. Winkler, you can send a link,
Yes.
my email address, so that people who want to communicate and send me material information that I can publish about um, things that the alumni are doing, I would love it.
Absolutely.
I would
Yes,
love it.
I'll get on that, and and I appreciate you coming on. Again, I told you the other day, it's historical, right? And just going through that journey with you was beautiful. And I think that story, and I'm glad that you're documenting it, and we got a chance to even document it over here. And the more documentation, the best. And Brother Josh said earlier that is very inspirational, because sometimes we never know how high we can go until we know what our forefathers and mothers, our elders, even ancestors have done. And once we realize what they have done, we know what we can do and how far we can go, and we can take it further. So we do have some individuals that may want to ask you some questions. I have a few questions for you, Doc, before we close out as well, if that's okay with you. So, Brother Jai, if you have any guests guests that want to come on and talk a bit, I know we have Brother Jabari Netter, and we have Sister Queen of B here. Brother Jabari, so Brother Jabari has a lot of history at your institution, Doc. Sister Queen of B, she just everything black box radio. So yeah, I'm opening the floor up.
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Just want to thank y'all for having this event today. Thank you, Dr. Winkler, Dr. Asar. Appreciate you for helping to make this happen. And Dr. Simmons, man, I don't even know where to start with you and the great story that you just told, and the things that you did to help position our people to be in the great just to advance as a people. We really appreciate you, and I can't thank you enough, man. Sojourner, for over 10 years, y'all took us in as I never went to Sojourner myself. My mom went to Sojourner, my uncle went to Sojourner, my ex-wife went to Sojourner. So a lot of people that I know went, but I still consider myself a member of Sojourner because we brought the other part of education to Sojourner with Reality Speaks, and we brought everybody there to Sojourner. And y'all took us in with open arms, and I can't thank you enough for what you did. With Dr. Rawlins, Brother Rawlins, and many of the other people that we just work with through your institution, and Brother Jamal Moody Bay. I love y'all. I love and I just can't say it enough. My mom got married in in the cafeteria there. You know what I'm saying? My reception when I got married was in your cafeteria. My sister had her reception in your cafeteria. like we got history there. Like I said, from Dr. Ben to Dr. Francis Cress Wells, and to many of the great scholars. I can't thank you enough. And I was talking to Dr. Asar, and we was just talking. I was talking to him and telling him how much I missed Sojourner Douglas College. It was like it was a home base, a home place for us. And I appreciate your many sacrifices and the things that you had to do for that institution. And it's nothing like it right now. It's nothing like what you were able to produce in the community. So I don't have questions. I just got accolades. I just got just want to greet you with a supreme salute, and just let you know how much that I appreciate you and my family and just the community in general. Man, we love Sojourner, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's really
Thank
really
you.
all I just had to say.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My turn.
I,
Greetings, Dr. Simmons. It is a pleasure to be in space with you. I have a question, but I want to say it is just a blessing to hear this journey that you've been on, and definitely producing the capacity for scholarship for Black people, and also in the community, and having that kind of be a part of the fabric of Sojourner Douglas. I want to say I'm a graduate of Morgan State University. I never heard of Sojourner Douglas until I came to Baltimore. And so I never was on the campus. So I'm just hearing this journey that I've heard today. It's inspiring. It's beautiful. And it seemed like it's intentionally Black. Going to Morgan was definitely a exposure to Black people, and being in a Black centered space. But this Sojourner Douglas seems like it was just community and all of these things. And so I do have a question, though. Well, not a question, more of a statement, because we're in a space of technology, and things are changing fast, and education is so systematic now, so systematic driven. And I think I want to ask you, because it sounds like you guys were on the cusp of being very forward to some of the things that you did that people weren't even doing at that time, and trying to create spaces, international spaces, and tentacles everywhere. So I want to kind of ask, when it comes to the type of society we're in now, and how education is definitely systemized, and it's going to be technological driven. How do we create spaces for activism? And because it looks like our leaders, when I hear what you're talking about, like Coretta Scott and the many leaders in the community back then, they spoke to the presidents. They had relationships that were centered in first of all, us being Black people in the struggle. And I think we've gotten away from the struggle, because we've been integrated, and we have this this thought that we're free, that everything's good, because we're so integrated into society. And so how do we create the activism and the spaces for education? Our scholars are put in front of us by the media, and usually they're not actually scholars. They're either entertainers, or they come from other branches of other spaces in our community. How do we create this educational space that, like you created, the gaps that we have now in education?
Boy, that's a great question. And it's certainly, let me say that it's certainly something that's needed. And You're absolutely correct. We think we're integrated into the community, but interestingly enough, that this movement now, present movement of trying to, I don't want to get too political, but there is certainly a need to help us understand that there is a movement against us, that we need to come together. We need to educate our people. We need to create economic opportunities within our community for our people. We need to create educational opportunities within the community for our people, to help us understand the whole concept of self-determination, because there's a movement, and it's growing, especially in this upcoming political campaign.
Absolutely.
Against us. And I love what we're doing now, and I love what Dr. Winkler is doing, and that's one of the reasons that I was so excited when Dr. Winkler contacted me about this opportunity for us to start this dialogue. And even if this is the beginning of a dialogue, I know there are other movements around the country, and Dr. Winkler has mentioned some of them. But we need to find a way to collaborate with these movements, to bring them together. What they're doing in New York or Chicago, we need to link with them. What they're doing in Atlanta. I mean, we had a movement going. Dr. King was assassinated. Medgar Evers was assassinated. I mean, you can go on and on and on. So it's serious.
Yeah.
The effort to control us and continue to enslave us is a serious movement among some people, and we have to take it serious, and we have to find a way to come together with other groups and organizations around the country, or else we're going to be in real trouble. We're going to be in real trouble. And so I love your question, and you have a voice, and you have a vehicle. We need to, Black Box Radio. We need to link with you. We need to continue this dialogue. We need to find a way to recruit, people to what you're doing. We need to find a way to recruit people to what Dr. Winkler is doing. We need to just link all of these efforts around the country, or we're going to be in dire trouble. So I really thank you for that question.
You're welcome. Can I say something else, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I use technology because, of course, I told you I've never visited a campus. So I pulled up on Wikipedia what it says about Sojourner. Can I read that to you?
Sure.
And it says Sojourner Douglas College was a private college organized around an Afrocentric focus of study and located in Baltimore, Maryland. The college was founded in 1972 and focused on educating mature students. The college's accreditation was revoked by the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools effective June 30th, 2015, and the college remains closed for instruction. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to say that because it kind of segues into what I would like to ask. And because we have Black colleges that are particularly not private, they're public, like Morgan, and a lot like a Howard, and a lot of these colleges are not. First of all, they're named after white folks. They've been conjured from a white gaze, the Spelmans, and I'm not saying they're not great. Mm-hmm. They've had white presidents at the onset. Still not diminishing their presence in our community. Do you think there's an intentional effort to keep a private institution like Sojourner Douglas out of the realm of education and keep it public, where it has a systematic control of curriculum and education?
I'm glad you asked that. And part of what I'm doing in my history of Sojourner Douglas College is looking at what's happening recently. I must be 8 or 10 Black colleges that have closed around the country in the last several years. Let me tell you what happened. Arne Duncan was the Secretary of Education. We had created, because we were serving adults, we had created a 3-semester academic year so that a student who studied 3 semesters could graduate with a 4-year degree in 3 years. Mm-hmm. Without, normally when the public institute, a governmental agency changes a regulation, there's a process where they post the proposed change on what is it called? It's to make it a public record that we're about to make this change, and it give people who might be affected the opportunity to respond or to adjust without notice. And this normally takes about a year before a government agency makes a change in a regulation, and they post it in the public record without notice. They and many of our students were receiving the Pell Grant, and they were receiving it for 3 years. Without notice, they changed the eligibility of the Pell Grant from 3 semesters to 2. They put a cap on it, and many of our students had previously gone to community colleges because average age of our student was 38. And they had previously gone to community colleges. They put a cap on the Pell Grant, both without notice. And just like that, we lost over a third of, just as we were going through reaffirmation of accreditation, we lost over a third of our budget and couldn't recoup in time. And so the Middle States Association, which was the accrediting agency, threatened to remove our accreditation. We went to court. We went on record, there were at least 6 other white institutions who had deficits equal to or in excess of our deficit, that there was no action taken against them. We went to court to make this argument, but we didn't win. So we just lost our accreditation just like that. And these other colleges, all white, were never affected. But Black colleges around the country, I don't have the list in front of me, but what part of what I'm writing about in my history of Sojourner is the Black colleges that have closed in the last maybe 10 years. It's phenomenal. I think at least 8 of them that I can recall off the top of my head.
Yes.
So,
Doc, with that question and that answer, Queen, that was a beautiful question. I'm curious to know, what are some of your thoughts having gone through? I'm just listening at the care that you're giving to your question and even your presentation due to your journey. And when I see your journey, I'm seeing a person who's been in a lot of spaces, right? A lot of spaces that a lot of us have never been in. And being in all those spaces and going through this journey, what are your thoughts about, do you have any different thoughts about how we should move forward? Do you think that we have a chance in the system, or do you think it needs to look some other way, or a combination of things?
I think there needs to be a combination, but I think especially there needs to be a strong effort among ourselves, economic development, social development. I mean, our children are our future, and if you look at what's happening now, I mean, one of the things when I talked about the cradle to prison pipeline, it's something like 75-80% of prisoners around the country are African American. When we started, I think I have this data in one of my documents. It cost something like $40,000 to build, $85,000 to build a prison cell, $40,000 a year to retain a person. It was at that time less than $15,000 a year tuition, college tuition. Something like 65% of the people who get out of prison had no place to live, and it was just a pipeline, reverse, back to prison. What you going to do? You don't have a job, you don't have education, you don't have a place to live. So what's your option but to go, continue a life of crime and a revolving door from the community back to prison? It's important that we come together as a people to understand this problem and to do things to address it. We have the intelligence and we have the resources to do it. I mean, there's rich black people who would contribute. I'd had some who started just before we closed, but we unfortunately before we could take advantage of the opportunity of the people who wanted to make donations to the college. We were in court fighting accreditation that we just ended up closing. But there black people with money out there who could help. If we came together, what you're doing at the Black Box Radio, what you're doing with the community university. I mean, if we could find a way to come together and work together and bring the resources. I mean, I'd love to see Sojourner, open again. I'm too old to manage it. I'm 86 years old, but I'd love to help some younger person, who would be interested in taking it over and running it. I'd love to, help, mentor, help that person. But essentially, we just need to join ranks. There are a lot of us doing work in the community. But if we could find a way to come together and join ranks, I think we could make a difference, a real difference. I mean, we're making a difference already, but there's a movement against us.
Right. That was going to be my question, Doc. My question was going to be, do you think that we should open back up an institution like that? And look, you got a soldier here. I told you, look at least one. You got one soldier here, that'll be willing to actually take part in assisting any task like that, starting from wherever it needs to start. I'll sign up for that. Look, people be signing me up for want me to sign up for a lot of things, but I'll be like, no, but I will sign up for that one definitely, because honestly, I went to grad school so that I could teach psychology of the black family, so I could teach psychology of the racism. And, I never got that chance, but I've always tell people I went to a higher education so that I could go back to teach at Sojourner Douglas College. Mm-hmm. I think Jabari has something.
Yeah, I want to say, Dr. Simmons, would you be willing to do like workshops for people who are interested in opening up schools / things that like Sojourner Douglas College? I mean, because it takes more than just show. I know we say we got to bring people together and coming up, but it takes a certain mentality to be able to put this thing together. Like what you were able to do, what you were able to tap into, and to lead our people with that institution. Like we need that type of leadership training in order to be able to open up some of these institutions the way that you did that. And we need to tap into what you were specifically, able to tap into. Like what books were you reading? How your meditation, your regular things that you would do to keep such an institution, and knowing that people will come in for you and trying to stop this. And then how can we, organize to stop them, when they come with the shenanigans, how can we organize to be able to be prepared to stop when they come to try to close our institutions? And I know I speak with such excitement because I just enjoy being at Sojourner Douglas so much, and doing those events and just me just thinking about it, I'm just excited. But I would definitely be interested in doing workshops and doing some things where we can actually train. And because we still need to open up a lot of schools. We only have very few private institutions, different things, but we need to know what to do, how to approach it, what's the right attitude that we need to have to approach it, and how do we unify, how do we organize such a staff to be able to, to handle that.
I'd love to participate in that, and there are a number of former Sojourner administrators who also would be willing and interested in participating in that. Now, I'm not as mobile as I used to be. I have I have you see this, a rollator. So I'm walking on a rollator.
I understand.
That's what they call. Never knew the name of it. The rollator, huh?
Yeah.
It's still moving.
We will make it work with this.
And in fact, it's getting worse because I've been sitting at this computer writing my biography and then writing the history of Sojourner. I need to get up. That would be an opportunity for me to get up and move around. I need to do that. I'm being treated for spinal stenosis, which is causing my numbness in my legs and feet. And so I'm being treated for it. But I would love the opportunity to work with people who wanted to help either get Sojourner back up and running or another institution. Dr. Winkler, tell us about the communiversity. I mean, we were interested at early on of that whole concept of communiversity, and so that's something that we could help develop.
Yeah, honestly, I think that Sojourner was a communiversity already, right? I mean, times a thousand. And I say that to say all the classes, and I'm thinking, and one of my questions was going to be two things, and because we're coming close to the end here. But I do know that you mentioned this word social development. I know we often talk about economic development. People have different ideas, and they know it has something to do with money, right? or finances, or power, or control of resources, and all these type of things, right? But when we talk, I keep hearing you say this social development. I'm not sure if people are as familiar with that term, but also I'm also thinking about this idea that I think that I thought about as Queen was asking her questions, this idea of academic freedom. And I think communiversities allow us to have that sense of academic freedom. In fact, I think that, me and Dr. Mayat was supposed to do a show. I think we will do it soon on academic freedom and what it is. Now, having gone through Sojourner Douglas College, I mean, my assumption is that there was lots of academic freedom there as it pertained to speaking speaking to us. So I guess could you tell us a little bit about social development and academic freedom? But as far as the communiversity, I would like to say, it's nothing I created, but just looking back historically at what our elders and ancestors have spoken about, bringing the scholars to the community, as Brother Jabari has done over the years, and really doing that in a way, but also bringing people who are been through academia and those who have not been traditionally through academia together to really educate our community. So if you could, Doc, could you talk a little bit about more about that social development piece that you're touching on, and also the academic freedom? And I'm gonna sign up with Brother Jabari and Queen to open up Sojourner Douglas College specifically.
All right. Social development. I think we need to connect with our culture, with our heritage. I mean, you talked earlier about, or someone talked earlier about the linkage between African Americans and Africans on the continent. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of it. understanding who we are, where we came from, what we need to do to continue that relationship with each other. You know, even in the United States, because we think we're so integrated into the broader culture, we're losing touch with each other. And so cultural and social entanglements or arrangements we need to bring back together who we are. That's what's important. It's got to be. We have to begin to see that as important to us.
Pause. I just want to say that's my president. That's the president of my blacks college. Look, how many? Look, I'm sorry, Doc, but how many black university presidents you were here talk like that? But go ahead. It was just bubbling up in me. So.
No, I think it's very important that we don't lose touch of ourselves and who we are. There's a movement right now. There's a movement in this country that would wipe us out. I mean, if we're not careful, not just culturally, but literally. And they're saying it, and you can see it, you know, on the social media. People are threatening to do this and actually doing a lot of it. So we need to understand this is a very serious period of our history. You know, there's been ebbs and flows, you know, from slavery to lynching to assassinations to oppression. You know, I mean, there's been an effort the whole time we've been here to oppress us. And we need to understand that. And we need to find a way to come together to build each other, to build our communities, to build institutions, to build organizations, to build businesses together and support businesses, support each other.
I say.
Or we're going to be in trouble.
Well, Doc, with that, I'm going to say it was truly a blessing. The people were blessed. Brother Jabari just had to jump off. He said it was really beautiful. He loved it. I'm certain we have at least a few. You know, it's a few people do most of the work anyhow. But definitely, but I also listened to what you shared today with the students and how you guys included the students and me actually being a part of it, you know, that whole process and theory and application. And I'm just going to say thank you again for your time. And do you have any closing words to take us out?
No, I'd just like to say that I would love for us to find a way to continue this level of communication. Maybe not like this, but a way that we can do it. If Dr. Winkler, if you would, you know, be a conduit, people could send information to you. You know, we could find a way to communicate. I think it's essential that we keep this kind of dialogue going.
Yes, sir.
Again, I mean, if people are interested in, you know, seeing an institution get back up and running, I would love to be part of that, to help with that. You know, again, you know, anything I can do with the time that I have left on this earth, you know, for my people, I'm here. I'm willing.
Ashe. John Logic said, Doc, on the way out, he said he'll be the first student to sign up. So
Right.
thank you again, Doc. Thank you, Sister Queen, for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please like this, share it wide and broad, family. Share it deep, just share it, like, share, subscribe, do all those type of things. And I appreciate you, Dr. Simmons, a history maker, a living legend. Until next time, family, peace.
Before 1 second before you go, Queen, would you just tell us briefly about Black Box Radio? Because that's another way that we can link and stay together.
She looks like she's ready for that one.
Thank you, Dr. Simmons. I appreciate you giving me this space. But yes, Black Box Radio is a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. Our goal is to platform Black people, is to have an authentic space for the Black face. And it's very important that we have a place that we can communicate. A lot of time in media is centered around, of course, the majority population, and our voice is being controlled. So we need to have a place where we can particularly talk, we can debate, and we also can platform our greatness and also talk about things that we're not doing great. So that is our goal, is to fill that gap in community. And we do it 6 to 8, 9 times a month. We have a website, blackboxradio.com, which you see on the screen, but we also have a YouTube channel that we're building. We have a show with Dr. Da every second.
I'm Dr. Da. She think everybody know that, but yeah, I'm Dr. Da.
We have a show every second and fourth Wednesday, talking real-time issues from a therapeutic standpoint. And we're platforming Black people all the time. We would love to have you, Dr. Simmons, to speak with us and speak with the community. But that's our goal, is to be a media presence for Black people.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to tell them. I'm writing blackboxradio.com.
Yes, please check it out. Yeah, check it out. And we're going to have you on. Me and you're going to have a great conversation. I already know that.
All right.
So anything else before we wrap it up, Doc?
No, I think I appreciate you. I love this opportunity. And Dr. Winkler, I just don't know what to say. I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you. Blessings. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Queen. Thanks, listening audience. We are going to chime out. Until next time, peace and power, family. Peace.